Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latiners Network. Way to go over all the shows released on streaming over the past week. Give you our best recommendations or non-recommendations as the case may be. Of course, joining us as always to help make these determinations is our co-host, Senor Jaime, aka Chewy. What it is, what it was.
Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels.
Attention,
Sorry.
hope for Commanders fans. I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Bring a little football levity to the discussion.
We'll see. We'll see. Excited. It's always exciting to get a new quarterback out there. But let's say that's what is it, 4 or 5 months from now, I guess.
Yeah, September. So yeah,
Around there, whatever. But in the meantime,
yeah.
there's lots to
Sorry.
watch in between. All good. Listen, we're excited about football. Football's a year thing now these days almost. So for your teams to get new quarterbacks, good for you guys. Wish you guys the best. Chicago, I'm nervous for you, but either way.
Come on, dude. Don't be hating on Caleb,
I
dude.
would trust a USC quarterback. That's all I
Oh,
gotta say
Father,
about
love
that.
that Christ. Here we go, dude.
That
Here
being
we go.
said, let's get into the show in a couple parts. The first part, we'll do a quick takes, most of the shows that get released, and then we'll do our feature show. We're featuring one show this week. We'll kind of take a little bit deeper dive into that particular show. If you're new to the show, subscribe, hit the like button, of course, and we join us here every Sunday to give you the best of what's coming out so you guys can create your very own watch list. So, Chewy, let's get started with one that we hadn't mentioned before that was coming out. Obviously, you saw it. I didn't get. I did notice. I didn't get a chance to see it. And that's the Thank You Good Night, the Bon Jovi history story, I guess, whatever, on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Documentaries, doc series. Well, I'm not sure. I think it's a doc series. Is that right?
No, 4 point documentary.
Okay,
Yeah.
documentaries. So those who are living on the prairie, like all Commanders fans, um, it's just for them.
Could be wanted that are alive.
It could be one dead or alive. It depends.
Keep the faith.
How is this one anyway? Because I like Bon Jovi. Yeah, they're good. They're cool.
No, it's really, really good. I caught it late. I saw it was coming out. There was a big advertisement on Hulu for or Disney, whichever one. But obviously, we're a kid of the '80s and '90s, and so we were, and into the hair bands of the day, the Motley Crue's, Guns N' Roses, etc.
Poisons.
And so yeah, the Poisons, of course. But yeah, this chronicles their rise, their beginnings, and kind of in a very interesting way. So it's not just retelling their history, right? We all know the music, but it gives us behind the scenes and he kept videos and tapes of everything that they did. I was like,
Okay.
good lord, man! Cassette tapes, video
It's
cassettes,
the 80s, dude.
um,
Anything goes.
paper notes, the writing process. But it's very interesting because it did come about as the typical story we get, where four friends get together and they hit the infamous Sunset Strip and try to make it right. This is basically one man's dream and journey and calling to achieve the ultimate of success, and how the band came about and how they finally achieved stardom. And obviously, one was been around for 40 years now. And so I'm halfway through it, but it's I thought it was worth mentioning that if you're a fan of Bon Jovi, you should be watching. If you're a fan of the '80s and '90s rock scene, you should be watching. It's interesting. It kind of reminds me of the old VH1 series Behind the Music, right?
Yeah.
Which chronicled many bands back in the day, and did it in a very well thought manner. This just extended to the four part, but it doesn't seem like it's long. It's you want to find out more and what happened, what behind it. It's not a typical Motley Crue story, right? It wasn't drug fueled shenanigans
Right.
and Ghana. So this is someone who's still dedicated to his craft to this day, and he's 60 years old, and he obviously still on the road trying to give his best because this is what he loves, and that's what you like to see, right?
Okay, cool. I'll definitely want to check it out. I had it kind of ready to
Yeah.
go sometime this
And
week.
and there's some stuff I didn't know and stuff that like obviously I had no idea that she was trying to get back on tour. I think a couple of years ago, right
Mm-hmm.
around COVID time, with some of the original bandmates and whatnot, and the physical struggles, literally physical struggles that he has to go through in order to keep at that performance. Right, it's one thing when you're 20s,
Right.
when you're in your 60s, and when you got laser therapy, chiropractors. I mean, it's a physically totally what he has to go through to put out what he feels he has to not has to, but wants to get back to the fans, right? So it's very, very well done.
Okay, again, that's on Hulu, four-parter. It's already out now. Let's continue. Let's really jump into the stuff that obviously I could watch. So let's do a quick takes on this one. The first one, Briganti. This one is on Netflix. It was a Italian show. I think
Italiano.
6 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever. This one
Six.
here takes place in, I don't know, early, like late 1900s. I don't know, whatever, Western
Come on
days, I
there.
guess.
Yeah.
Back there's a woman who kills her husband, is on the run, gets captured and caught by this, I don't know, outlaw kind of group or whatever,
Yeah, but yeah,
brigands,
yeah, I'll
bandits.
hop on
There
this.
you go,
Yeah.
there you go. And then lo and behold, she found herself, came across a map to some gold that belonged to the people. And you get the powers that be, those who are in power who are trying to get that gold as well. So they're kind of teaming up, et cetera, et cetera. Chewy on the watch list, year and year on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't what I thought. I thought when I saw this originally, I thought this was a typical heist, right? And we love a good heist.
That's what I thought.
This is not. This is more drama set in the time in Italy that we both know very little about. But it has a very Western feel to it, equivalent to U.S. And with the guns and horses and the outlaws and whatnot. So it's fairly interesting, actually. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, better than I thought. Not as
Mm-hmm.
fun as I would like to have seen.
Yeah,
Because my head heist, but fine.
yeah.
On the
We,
watch
we
list.
see
Not,
we
yeah.
see gold and we see cowboys and we do okay. We're
Yeah, the
thinking
map and all that. Oh,
it's
here
a
we go. Yeah.
yes, it's a treasure. It's a
I
treasure
mean,
hunt.
and
And
that's a little,
really,
yeah, and that's a little fun, but it's not a terrible show. It's actually not bad. So yeah, why not put it on the watch list? The next one, Big Door Prize, season 2, of course, is on Apple Plus. This comedy, quote unquote, slash drama series about a small town, and there's a machine that pops up that can predict, will give you, I guess, a card that tells you what you should be, right? Which, either like a doctor or a teacher or whatever the case is. So the whole town's just kind of following what the card tells them, right? And the whole it's all upheaval and people's thoughts and about it, et cetera, et cetera. And the mystery of the machine still remains now into
unfolding.
season
Yeah.
2. We know what's going on and things are developing now. There's obviously a second stage of this game or whatever they're doing. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, to be honest with you. This one here, kind of on the same boat. If you haven't seen this show at all, I leave it off the watch list. If you like season 1, then you'll probably enjoy season 2. Chewy.
Yeah. I mean, I found myself laughing more through. I think they dropped 3 episodes. So it definitely has more comedy, which is what we were expecting last season.
Yeah,
And so there's a couple of characters that just really, really funny.
he is.
John, yeah,
The one
yeah,
Italian guy, he's good. He really saves the show, to be honest with you, for me.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. As far as the
big time.
comedy and
Yeah.
stuff, and so I appreciate that because last year I felt it was lacking. I wasn't laughing out loud and wasn't. I mean, there was cute moments and haha, but not like really. This is billed as a part comedy. I expect funny.
Sure.
And so this season's giving me at least more. Let's see how it ends. But yeah, if you saw it last season, yes, it didn't. I'm teetering it. I would recommend this.
Exactly. Next one up, we got Them, The Scare. This is almost like an anthology series on Amazon. That first season came out last year. Very racially charged show. First one dealing with a family moves in 1960s into a white neighborhood.
50s,
50s,
50s.
yeah. So black family, white neighborhood. Do the math, right? And the show really focused on that, right? And the issues that come with that, and the way they looked at and the racism, et cetera, et cetera. It didn't quite have it's built like a horror show. It didn't for me, didn't have the horror element. It wasn't that strong. Hoping this one changed. So this one here focuses more 1991, right? The age, of course, not sexual, social tensions again, race tensions.
LA,
This is right,
Rodney
LA,
King.
right
Yeah.
after the Ronnie King situation. You have this black female cop who's investigating
Pre
this.
pre pre riots.
The pre-ride,
Let's put
right.
them into context.
It's in around the same time frame, right? We had the John Black detective who's investigating this gruesome murder of a woman's body was literally mangled like a pretzel underneath a sink, and so it's focused on that investigation. And at the same time, there's another character in there who's an aspiring actor, very sweet, kind of innocent young man who works at a Chuck E. Cheese establishment, trying to be an actor, and he's failing miserably. Those are the focus of the characters, and of course, they're gonna intersect at some point, having something to do with this potential serial killer that's out there. Chewy on the watch list or not?
I'm watching it.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
good.
say,
It's not praise,
well,
but
well. I mean, so I'm glad it's an anthology series because I wasn't sure what they were gonna do if there was a season 2 of that. Even though I like season 1, but
I hear there is a tie into the first season though. By the end,
okay, well
yeah.
that's good.
But
Well, I'm
neither
sure
here nor
that,
there. But yeah,
yeah. but this definitely has more of a horror element, or it's playing because of the case that they're investigating. Now, again, I'm only 3 episodes in,
Mm-hmm.
but it has a very supernatural feel to it. It's not physically a person, right? And it is trying to build up that tension. Um, because I mean, up to this point, I mean, it's not it feels like the boogeyman is doing this to people, and it's now that he's popping up more and more.
Sure.
But I mean, like I said, I'm not sure how it's going to end, but I'm watching. It's got me intrigued.
I'm torn. I'll say on the watch list for now. It's just the racial component here is unnecessary. I thought it was more relevant for the first season because of the situation. Here, the focus should be on the supernatural element, on the best. It's sort of almost like a seven kind of vibe to it in the first episode. I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of cool.
I
It's
mean,
a,
look in the context
uh,
of where it's
oh,
set.
I get it,
You
and
can't
you can
say
introduce those
you can't
elements,
you
but
put it you put it in a time frame because you put it at 1991 LA at the pre riots, so things were boiling already, right?
no, no,
And
I
so,
agree. But once you, I mean, I'm like 5 or 6 deep in this, and I put it
oh,
this
okay,
way.
okay. Well, I'm
So
only three. Yeah.
if there wasn't even a mention of that, the show would be exactly the same for the most part, right? As far as the big ticket items, the focus should be on this killer who, and listen, it's pretty obvious what's going on with the other character. We know what's going on with the other character. If you haven't figured out by now, you stop watching TV at this point. We know what's happening, and we know that it's not the same timeline. That's very obvious. It hasn't been reviewed yet, but I can tell you right now that the same timeline. That's a promise you that. But that being said, that's the focus of the show. It had nothing to do. This is not a young black man who became this way because of racism and all that and the pressure put on. It's had
No,
no.
no, no, no.
And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Her investigation takes that because that's the environment
Right, the
that she's
environment
in.
she's in, but the kind.
Him, him
Right,
is like it's
a
just a byproduct of his perceived persecution or because I was just with the girl that tried to help him out and she kind of betrayed him, right? And so you see the anger because he's already
correct.
quirky
Yeah,
as it
and they
is.
get deep into his past and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But the point, it has nothing to do with race, right? At the end of the day.
No, 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 no.
And that's what I'm saying.
Not for him turning this way, but
And that's my point. Like the show, the first one did a better job of it. This one, it seemed just kind of forced in there because it's the '90s. Let's just throw in the cops that hate her because she's black, and the black community doesn't like her because she's a cop. And at that time, cops were seen. Not that that's changed a whole lot, but cops are seen as enemies in the black community. I get that, but it just they could have. It was just unnecessary, and it lacked the focus on the horror element.
was it Newman? Was it Newman as the police chief? Was that?
Newman's in there, but not a terrible show. It's just I don't know. It just didn't have enough focus on the scares, right? Focus on the real issue that the show should be about. You can have a racial element in the background, right? And that's okay, right? But that's going to be the focus in the show that it should not be the focus of. That was my issue with the show. But again, if you like the first season, you'll probably enjoy this one. I think this is probably a little bit better than the first one, to be honest with you, in terms of the horror element to it. I would say.
Yeah, definitely. There's
Yeah,
more
so,
horror. I
so
mean,
that's more up your alley.
they
This
rely
should
on
be a
that
better
horror
show.
element because, like
Right.
I said,
Yeah.
with the due timeline of what's going on, but as far as the
Yeah.
murders that are happening,
Yeah.
it's not this is not what's his name give me one of the serial killers
Oh,
doing this. This
Jason
is
Voorhees
something.
or Michael Myers.
No, I mean, that's
Candyman. This is
fantasy,
more
right?
akin to Candyman, I would say. For those who've seen
Yeah,
Candyman, yeah,
maybe,
yeah, it's
yes,
a
yeah.
racially charged kind of horror film. Next one up, we got the actually no that let's dive into actually no I apologize, we do have one more here. That's Asunta, El Caso de Asunta, on Netflix. This was a 6-part limited series. True crime based on a true story. It happened in Spain, I believe, in 2013. We got this a
Yes.
couple who adopted a young Asian girl, and then I think she was 12 or 13. She went missing. They reported her missing, found dead soon afterwards, and lo and behold, the investigation turned towards them as they are the prime suspects. So now the focus is on them, whether they did or did not do it. Of course, the trial ensued and all that. Chewy, your thoughts? Is this on the watch list?
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I'm a fan of big crime drama, true crime drama, right? It's a different because obviously it's Spanish based. So it's a case I'm not really familiar with.
Sure.
Maybe I heard something back in the day, but obviously, we live in the U.S. We don't follow crimes international unless it's really really a big deal, right? So I'm interested. So I'm watching. I like it, and I want to see what actually happens.
No, no, yeah, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I really enjoyed it. Good mystery, and it's really well done. And fascinating, dark story, and really kind of throws out these theories. I think I'm 3 or 4 now. I'm thinking 3 in. These theories of what could have happened, what may have happened. Doesn't matter if you like into true crime. This is one for you. Put on the watch list for sure. Next one here is there's a little feature here, a little more focus on Dead Boy Detectives. This is on Netflix, dropping its 8 episodes on there. This one here, in the world of Sandman. If you guys, it's like a spin-off of Sandman. But there's two young dead boys, obviously, who have a detective agency, and they're helping
Two ghosts.
two
Yeah.
ghosts, right? They're helping out other ghosts, fulfill something that's missing or solving a crime, how they died, etc., etc.
For them to finally cross over. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can cross over. They don't want to cross over the two ghosts off. They want to keep doing what they're doing and help the ghosts out. Very good kids, and they finally cross paths with a psychic who's been possessed, and she can't see him because of her abilities, and they kind of, after helping her, she kind of gets involved in the agency and, of course, helping them solve all the mysteries across the pond, if you will. They actually come back to the States for that one. This one here, listen, this was, when you hear, it's cool, in the beginning, you do have that tie-in, one of the characters to,
Yes,
of course,
Death.
Death
That's their
character
cameo.
from Sandman and all, which is kind of cool. And I thought, oh, great, because they're trying to avoid death, right? Because they don't want to be found. So they have to, like, when they see her coming, they split. They have, like, cool abilities and stuff they can use and all that. This is not Sandman. I'll say that. Let me say it first, right? And that's
No,
good to say.
no.
However, Sandman was a much deeper, much better show, but what it lacks in depth, it makes up for it. Kind of fun, right? It's a fun show. Yeah, I liked it. It was entertaining. I like the kids. They're fun, and it's a very imaginative show. A lot of the cool. It's kind of like a mystery of the week, right? There's like a general overall storyline for the most part, but every show's focusing on different mystery that they have to solve, a particular ghost or murder or whatever. Very fun show. A lot more adult than I thought it was going to be, which I like. So it's not although it presents almost like a young adult show. It's not really,
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
It's definitely not. So it's kind of interesting how it kind of walks towards that line. But I had fun with this one. I like the characters. I mean, it's not a great show. It's not the greatest show we've ever seen, obviously, and it's not Sandman, but it's worthy of being in that world. It's actually, I heard another cool character that comes up in the end. I haven't seen that one yet. That another character from the Sandman storyline, the series anyway. Again, it's a good kind of holdover until Sandman comes out. 'Cause I'm really excited for the part 2 of that one. But it's good. A lot of interesting ideas. It's a little too. It's kind of too like fairies that they introduce them. Like, I don't know if you've seen that yet, Chewie, and then they get you see the two fairies. They're hilarious.
They're in episode 2. Yeah, that was when she was infected with
Yeah,
dandelions,
yeah,
sprites
dandelion.
or
Yeah,
something.
those
They're
characters are
hilarious.
very funny. Yeah, super
Hilarious.
funny as they go on. So, and knows what it is. Has a lot of fun with it. Is it a great show? No, but it's a good, fun, entertaining show. This is a good recommend on my end. Chewie.
No, I would agree 100%. I'm probably higher. I mean, I really like this show a lot. I knew it was part of the Sandman universe, but I wasn't expecting to be part of the Sandman story, which is not. I think
Right,
the two characters that live in this universe, they interact somehow on the fringes of the Sandman character we've seen thus far, maybe more so going forward. But it's definitely a fun show to watch. It's interesting. It's adults. Episode 3, the Phil Connor scene was very. It was hard to watch. I was like, oh, Jesus, again and again. But so it's definitely not for good.
No.
But they don't really they show it, but they don't show it. Obviously, you hear more than you see, but it's still just that what you know what's going on, and it kind of makes you cringe to have to go over and over again. But the characters are great. A lot of different ancillary characters. The witch, the king cat.
King
The
Cat's
cats are
funny.
hilarious.
The cats are
The
cool.
whole
Yeah.
cats. I was like, no, I wish my cat would talk
Yeah,
like
the cat's is always like when I first hear the cat and it's vulgar, I'm
yeah.
like, whoa, okay,
Oh yeah, whoa, what the hell?
okay,
Come
cool. That was funny.
on. And so yeah, it brings in a lot of different elements, a different mystery to solve every episode, every week, whatever I want to call it. But it's very very interesting. Obviously dealing with supernatural elements
Yeah,
because it's a Sandman world, right? So
it
there's
kind of
heaven and
reminded
hell.
me. Yeah, it kind of reminded me kind of like a Men in Black kind of, right? This kind of the world building and this world within the world in terms of
I
like
don't know.
well, you have this different. You got like the lost and found division. You got the cats that talking, just with the dog
I would
and
say
Men in
I'd say
Black.
it has a more supernatural. The
I mean, it's
TV show
supernatural, but it's like Men in Black,
feel.
a supernatural
Yeah.
with the Men in Black vibe in terms of the world building, right? These characters, these
Yeah.
strange
Okay.
worlds. These instead of aliens, they're just ghosts, right? But not just typical ghosts. They're
Different
different kinds
ghosts,
of
different.
monsters,
Yeah.
or they got the walrus guy, a lot of history there. You got his little section. He's almost like the pawn shop in Men in Black. You got,
Mm-hmm.
again the lost in world. They have that they're going to hell eventually, and it's a very
Mm-hmm.
very cool world that they build there. A lot of elements out there, which is very imaginative. Like the whole dandelions we
Yeah.
talked about, little two characters are kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
I could say it does a good balance of maintaining the seriousness with the lightness
Mm-hmm.
of the
Mm-hmm.
show. Yeah, that episode was cool. The one with the family, getting killed
Yeah,
over and over again. That was, I think, yeah, you're right, third episode. I think I'm four right
that
on this
was
one. That was cool. It's
yeah.
like it happens a lot. It's cool. It's a fun show. It's a fun show. It
Mm-hmm.
is a fun show. It's not deep. It's one you kind of sit back and just enjoy it. And if you,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's not Sandman. If you're expecting that, you know,
No, I mean
taper
this
the
is the
expectations, right? It's a
epitome of
different show. It's a
spin-off.
different show, right? It's a
Yes, yeah.
spin-off. It's a totally, completely different tone. It was a great scene, Death in the beginning. That was a really cool scene. And she was one of my favorite characters in the comics
Talk about that
and the
best
show.
episode of the
Yeah, actually,
season
yeah,
one of the
yeah,
Sandman.
by far, fantastic. So yeah, she was really cool seeing her, and they kind of allude to her later on. But yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
fun, good show, good recommend, absolutely, and I hope it gets seen a lot, so we can get a season two. I'm kind of curious where they can go
Yeah,
from here. From what I've seen so far, I was like, man, they can really go bonkers with this if they really want to,
yeah,
and it'd
yeah.
be
They
cool to
can.
have them introduce. They're in hell at some point, but I don't think they show Lucifer.
Bran,
That's
Bran Tarth.
it's not there. Yeah, exactly. Game of Thrones. But yeah, I highly recommend. Very fun show. Just check it out on Netflix. Dropping it's 8 episodes and all that. So that's what we have for the week. Next week, quick reminder: it's a big week next week. So cuts are going to be made here. We got The Veil on Hulu, kind of action thriller with I forgot her name already, but she was in Handmaid's Tale.
Mosque.
Elizabeth Moss, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we got Down the Rabbit Hole, it's a Netflix film. The Guy from Lincoln Lawyer. We got Hacks season 3 on HBO. We got Welcome to Wrexham season 3, of course, a funny show with Ryan Reynolds. There's TP Bond, his new anime coming out in the second. A Man in Full limited series with Jeff Daniels on the second. Unfrosted, the Seinfeld McCarthy movie, very fun, zany kind of film, for what it looks like. And of course, May the Fourth be with you. We got Tales of the Empire, the kind of anthology series on that one. So a big week. So we'll come back on next Sunday to talk about those, and most ways the ones I get a chance to see. I got a busy weekend next weekend. But that being said, check us out here on Sundays. The watch list, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.